What are the cast members from The Office up to now? Number 17, Oscar Nunez. We start off with Oscar Nunez, a Cuban-American actor that played Oscar Martinez, one of the few openly gay characters in TV at the time of The Office. He was one of the few voices of reason in The Office, and he consistently had questions that Michael just won't answer. Although Nunez graduated from Parsons School of Design and is a certified dental technician of the Magna Institute of Dental Technology, Oscar has kept acting ever since The Office ended. He's appeared on many TV series as a one-chapter character such as New Girl, Comedy Bang Bang, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He also appeared in several movies, the most recent of them being Baywatch, starring Zac Efron, and The Rock. But today, in 2018, you probably can't watch TV without seeing him alongside Chris Paul in those State Farm commercials, where he's playing the ever-present insurance guy. Who is your favorite Office character? Let us know in the comment section. Number 16, Rainn Wilson. Is Dwight your favorite character? Come on, he has to be one of the best characters on The Office, right? Even though he's uptight and seems like he's an uber jerk, Dwight has shown his softer side many times on The Office. And we all know someone who's the suck-up to the boss like Dwight was. After his time on The Office, Rainn Wilson has acted in independent projects. Thanks to The Office, he's had enough money to be picky about the projects he wanted to take part in and the roles he played. However, being such an iconic character has a double-edged sword. He's complained about having played Dwight because, according to him, producers tend to believe that Dwight's the only role he can play when in fact he did theater for 10 years before The Office. Wilson founded the website and YouTube channel Soul Pancake, which right now has almost 3 million followers. The tagline of the brand is, "We make stuff that matters." It named one of Fast Company's 10 most innovative companies in video for 2015. Wilson sold the company in 2016 and now just does random interviews such as weighing in on crazy Office conspiracy theories on ESPN, and he's still out there doing auditions for roles he's interested in. Number 15, Melora Hardin. Who can forget Michael Scott's boss Jan? He was sensible and professional yet crazy all at the same time. Jan was played by Melora Hardin, who's always wanted to play strong characters, as she's now playing Jacqueline Carlisle from The Bold Type. Her character is editor-in-chief of Scarlet Magazine in this new series, and Hardin is definitely great in her role. Now, there's a bit of an ongoing joke by fans about how Jan Levinson got her life together in the meantime between The Office and The Bold Type, where she changed her name and became editor of a fashion magazine in New York City. Hardin herself has stated that this could never have happened, but she herself feels both characters are related. In fact, Hardin says that both Jan and Jacqueline are survivors of hardship and can endure much more than people guess. Number 14, Creed Bratton. Creed Bratton played, Creed Bratton. The fictionalized Creed Bratton, that's essentially a crazier version of himself, and we all know how crazy Creed was on the show. Bratton led a flower child lifestyle as a kid and, as such, developed a deep connection with music throughout his life. His acting career was always secondary in front of his true passion, music. So it makes perfect sense that when The Office ended, he dedicated himself to creating and producing what would be his first music album in years, an album that was finally ready in 2018. Creed Bratton spent the majority of his time after The Office bringing to life his album, While the Young Punks Dance. However, he's also been acting on the side. He's had minor characters here and there on TV, such as Franklin and Bash, Comedy Bang Bang, and Grace and Frankie. Number 13, Kate Flannery. Another Office legend that has dedicated her life to music is Kate Flannery. She played the crazy character Meredith, who probably was always portrayed as drunk on the show, but who knows. Flannery certainly gave us some of the most memorable moments of The Office with her portrayal of Meredith, but after the finale, she decided to try some new things. Since she's good friends with actress and comedian Jane Lynch, Flannery decided to partner with Lynch to be her sidekick on stage in her show, See Jane Sing. Flannery has been touring with Jane Lynch since 2013. However, Flannery still isn't done appearing on TV screens quite yet. In 2016, she recurred on ABC's American Housewife as crossing guard Sandy, and she also played a janitor in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In 2017, she also had a recurring role on Cartoon Network's Steven Universe. Number 12, Jenna Fischer. How many Office Place romances do you guys know? Is it possible to work at a place where people don't hook up with each other? Pam was 2 for 2 on The Office, and her workplace romance was the epitome of office romances as she went from Roy to Jim. Jim and Pam had viewers either swooning over little romantic gestures and laughing to no end, or maybe just puking. So what's Jenna Fischer up to? After being stuck with pretty much the same style for years on end as soon as The Office ended, Fischer was finally able to change her hairstyle and her look. She's still acting and still goes auditioning for roles. Fischer says that while it's easier to get certain parts after playing Pam, she still has to go read lines for producers in order to get new roles. Now, Fischer has a family and says her family is her priority. In addition to acting, Fischer is passionate about animal rescue, and she's involved with animal organizations such as Kitten Rescue and Rescue Rover. Number 11, Angela Kinsey. Is there anyone that's more uptight than Angela? She was the uptight, judgmental, and condescending head of accounting department in The Office. For someone who was as tight as Angela was, she still somehow seemed to attract plenty of guys on the show. Thankfully, actress Angela Kinsey is nothing like that in real life. She says that even now, many years later after the series ended, people who recognize her in the streets actually still expect her to be a bit bad-tempered and neurotic. In fact, Kinsey professes to being very nice and apparently often talks people's ear off. After The Office, she's been doing a bit of everything. She participated in several comedy series such as Haters Back Off, Half Magic, and the parody of Real Housewives. For a while now, she's also been running a baking YouTube channel with her husband, Josh. Number 10, Mindy Kaling. Have any of you guys had a crazy girlfriend like Kelly from The Office? She was essentially the clingy person at the office who you can't get away from because all she does is talk about things you don't care about. However, actress Mindy Kaling is definitely a woman that's inspired many young women and children around the world to follow their dreams and not be afraid of fighting to reach their goals. Unlike other cast members of The Office, Mindy started in the project as a writer, not a performer. Still, after the series' initial success, developers created the character of Kelly Kapoor. While filming The Office, Mindy developed many projects on her own. In 2012, The Mindy Project aired, and it was produced, written, and performed by Mindy herself. Today, she's still in the industry and arguably an even bigger star since The Office has ended. She's done many cameos in movies, and in 2018, she took part in a Disney's live-action A Wrinkle in Time and Ocean's 8, the all-female version of Ocean's 11. Number 9, Ed Helms. Ed Helms played Andy Bernard in The Office and is undoubtedly one of those characters that grow on you little by little, even if he's super quirky and mentions his a cappella group just a little too often. Although he appeared the first time in Season 3, it wasn't until 2010 that he was promoted to a series regular. Since The Office, Ed Helms has been producing TV shows, but mostly he's been acting in different projects. He appeared in The Mindy Project as a guest in several Comedy Central specials. He's also voiced many animation characters in movies like Monsters vs. Aliens and Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Helms does speeches as well, such as giving the convocation speech at Cornell University in 2014, the alma mater of Andy Bernard, and the valedictorian speech at UVA back in 2015. But Helms' most famous work after The Office has got to be the role of Stuart Prince in The Hangover trilogy. Number 8, VJ Novak. Ryan Howard seemed to have many different personalities on The Office. Remember when he was in New York working for corporate and grew a goatee and started wearing nice suits? It seemed like Ryan was super nice at the beginning of the series, but by the end it just seemed like he was a sociopath. It's a good thing that for BJ Novak, humor comes naturally for him. Novak's father co-edited the Big Book of Jewish Humor, and probably that's where his humor and book writing talents come from. After playing the role of Ryan on The Office, Novak has published several best-selling books such as One More Thing, Stories and Other Stories, and the children's book, The Book with No Pictures. However, Novak did not stop acting. For example, he's appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, as well as HBO's The Newsroom. Now Novak has devoted himself to production, although he apparently is very secretive about his projects. Number 7, Brian Baumgartner. Brian Baumgartner played the lovable minor character of Kevin on The Office, even if he always seemed concerned with protecting whatever sort of content he had on his hard drive. He's also a popular source for memes, such as that time he dropped a huge pot of chili in the office. Although many people will recognize Brian Baumgartner, what he's been doing after The Office, and it is a bit of a mystery. He's appeared in many detective series such as Criminal Minds, Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, and CSI as one-chapter characters. He's also had minor 2 to 3 episode roles in series such as The Bridge and Melissa and Joey. We also know that he got married for the second time back in 2014. Not bad. Number 6. Phyllis Smith. Phyllis Smith was the one who brought to life the character by the same name, Phyllis, a sales representative. Did you guys know that Phyllis Smith used to be a NFL cheerleader for the St. Louis Cardinals? Phyllis played the one super sweet older lady that seems to be at every workplace. She was actually a casting associate when she was offered the role of Phyllis Vance. After The Office, Smith kept on being a casting associate. According to her coworkers, she's very good at judging who would be perfect for a role. But that doesn't mean she stopped her acting career. In 2015, alongside cast member Mindy Kaling, Phyllis had a voice role in the Pixar film Inside Out. Since 2016, Phyllis has had a regular role in the Netflix series The OA as Betty Broderick Allen. Number 5. Paul Lieberstein. Has anyone figured out exactly why Michael hated Toby so much? Just because he was HR and not part of the family? Or was it because he was the only person Michael couldn't really have any technical control over? There's probably no one Michael Scott hated more than Toby. Toby Flenderson came to life through Paul Lieberstein. Lieberstein worked in the writer's room from the start of The Office and was asked to act as well, and that's how Toby came to life. So what's Lieberstein up to now? He's still in the industry, and he's taken his producing and writing talents to other projects. Lieberstein has collaborated with Mindy Kaling on her show The Mindy Project and HBO's The Newsroom. Lieberstein in 2018 just finished directing his first film called Song of Back and Neck. He's also currently producing the TV series Ghosted alongside The Office creator Greg Daniels. Number 4. Leslie David Baker. Leslie David Baker is one of those comedians that can tell a joke and the punchline will always be the expression on their faces. That's probably the same look Stanley had on his face throughout the entire series, except for the few times he'd be laughing hysterically or getting super angry at Michael. At the end of The Office, Stanley retired to Florida and took up carving wooden birds in his free time. A nice ending for a nice character, but that's not the path Leslie David Baker decided to follow. After The Office, Baker has taken on both television and film projects. He's been a regular on That's So Raven reboot Raven's Home, as well as other TV series such as Scorpion and Still the King. One of his latest projects is the voice acting of Officer McPigley in the movie Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. But really, we can't forget his music video from 2011 called To Be Simple. Number 3. Craig Robinson. Who else thinks Daryl was one of the best characters on The Office and that he should have been given more screen time? Craig Robinson played Daryl Philbin, who was in charge of the Scranton warehouse of Dundler Mifflin. He's been one of those successful cast members of The Office since the series has ended. Robinson has had many projects since the ending of The Office. He's appeared in many movies and TV series, and he's done some stand-up comedy on Comedy Central. He's also dabbled in music as well. Robinson and comedian Jerry Minor had a comedy act where they performed as a musical duo, Elle Witherspoon and Chucky, with Minor as the smooth-singing Elle Witherspoon and Robinson as Chucky, the keyboard player and backup singer. Before his start on The Office, Robinson was actually a music teacher at an elementary school in Chicago. Number 2. John Krasinski. Did you guys see all those ads with Jim playing Jack Ryan as Tom Clancy's John Krasinski? Really, for us, there's no other role that John Krasinski can play without reminding us of the goofy and dorky Jim Halpert. From all the fights he's had with Dwight to the endless trolling he's done to Michael, John Krasinski will forever be Jim Halpert for better or worse. Nevertheless, he's come a long way from his iconic character on The Office. He's married to actress Emily Blunt, and their relationship continues to redefine the hashtag couple goals. While the show was still airing, Krasinski participated in romantic comedies such as Away We Go, It's Complicated, and Something Borrowed. He also auditioned for the role of Steve Rogers in Captain America, the First Avenger. In fact, he almost got it, but the producers decided Chris Evans was a better fit. And of course, now, these days, he's playing the main role in Amazon Studios' Jack Ryan. And did you guys watch he and his wife's leading roles in his 2018 thriller A Quiet Place? That was better than we expected, but we still saw some plot holes. Number 1, Steve Carell. Steve Carell as Michael Scott in The Office is essentially the epitome of all bosses. It seems as if whenever someone thinks of a dumb boss they have, Michael Scott comes to their brain. Steve Carell was already established before The Office, and he's been in many other memorable roles, such as playing Andy in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Since quitting The Office in 2011, Carell has produced and taken part in many projects. One of those was Despicable Me, the trilogy in which he voiced the lovable villain Gru. Carell has always led a quiet life with his family, but he's also dedicated his time to do more film projects not involving comedy. He played a convicted murderer in the 2014 drama film Foxcatcher, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. In 2018, Carell played the role of a drug addict's father in the movie Beautiful Boy. Here's what's next.